Welcome and good evening at Normal Community High School, or welcome back if you were tuning into our last girls game. Now we are on to the boys game, the second game in our doubleheader. Normal Community has posted a record of 9-2 and is looking to avenge their 5th place finish at the State Farm Classic, and they're taking on the Morton Potters, who have a deceiving record of 9-5 because they have won 7 straight games, including the Pekin Insurance Holiday Tournament, in which they beat Moline in the last game by nearly 20 points. This team is red hot, and this will be a great game. We'll get more into the Potters later on, but for now, let's talk about Community and how they finished at the State Farm Holiday Classic.
Yeah, for the State Farm Holiday Classic, the Community boys took a bit of an early exit, but they won the first round against Joliet Central 58-25, and then lost in the second round to Sacred Heart Griffin 70-53, which then they moved on to the kind of consolation round, I guess, where they got 5th place against Bradley Bourbonnais in a game that was 47-37. So maybe not exactly the great. Last year they were champions of the whole tournament. This year, early exit, not exactly going as far as they could have hoped. But still, I mean, this game is a great welcome back for the Ironmen after the holiday break. I mean, it will definitely be a wake-up call. We'll see Morton, an amazing opponent to come to.
Yeah, this game is going to be a huge test, and looking at the State Farm Classic, last year, like you said, Community took home the State Farm Classic, took home that first place. And this year, when I was looking at the bracket, it was kind of shaping up to look like maybe in the championship game, it was going to be Normal Community versus Rock Island. Rock Island's been very successful this year, and they are one of Community's 2 losses, beat Community by 9 earlier this season. But Rock Island actually was an early exit. They ended up getting 3rd place. They weren't in the championship game. And then Community falls in that second round to a Sacred Heart Griffin team that was really battle-tested, and they played a lot of great opponents, but they actually had a losing record. And they just came out, and it was kind of an unexpected surprise where Sacred Heart Griffin ended up taking that 17-point game. Talking to Gabe Nege, there was some miscommunication, and the guy that Kobe was guarding went 4 for 4 from 3. So they had a big guy that could really shoot the rock, and as a team, they knocked down a lot of threes, and that's kind of what happened in that game. Looking at some State Farm Classic by the numbers, the few that stick out to me, 42% from the field for the Iron and just 30% from 3, which was a mark that was a lot higher at the start of the season. There will need to be some more consistency from beyond the arc. This team has so many threats that can do that. And one thing that was really positive, less than 10 turnovers a game, which you do not see very often in high school basketball. The Iron are really taking care of the basketball. That's going to be huge in this game. And looking at the State Farm Classic, the winner of that was Peoria High. Peoria High will be the next opponent for Community, and they are also ranked number 2 in 3A. So I'm really excited to see that next game against Peoria High. They have a lot of talent, and the Big 12 is loaded this year. It should be fun.
Yeah, I mean, we have so many AP poll great placers. I mean, number 1, Manual in Big 12, number 1 in 2A. And then you have Peoria High at number 2 in 3A. And then we're that 3rd team right there, number 13 in 4A. So it's like a big 3 piece of Big 12 teams that it's going to be very competitive this season for.
Yeah, and it's funny, every year with Manual, they are one of 2 2A teams in our conference along with Peoria Notre Dame, and their record is always deceiving. They're 8-5, yet they're number 1 in 2A because they play 3A teams. They play 4A teams a lot of the time. So they get so battle-tested, they're the favorite to win 2A this year. So that should be really fun to see how far they can go. Peoria as well, number 2 in 3A. They actually played Morton earlier this year and beat them 33-31. Let's get into Morton and how they've shaped up. This year, Morton is 9-5, losing, and they lost their first 3 games one thing that's interesting about that is those 3 teams were all top 65 in the nation or under. They lost by 10 to La Mirada, which is a California team, number 43 in the nation. They only lost by 5 points to Gibbs from Florida, 63 in the nation. And they fell to Vashon by 18, the number 1 team in Missouri. What do you think? Obviously, it's a start where you lose a lot of games, so that's discouraging. But they have caught fire. How important is a start where you're playing these loaded teams?
Yeah, it's kind of like that situation where they say, like, throwing the baby into the pool or something.
What is
and
that
hoping
expression?
they swim. I don't know. It's something. But it makes them learn to swim, I guess. You're getting the hard stuff over quick. And then once you, like, get that experience, then you can start getting, as you said, 7 straight wins. It seems like it really helped to have that loaded first week of games.
Yeah, and then after that first week, they come back a week or 2 later, and they have back-to-back games against Peoria and Metamora. Peoria, like I said, they only lost by 2, and then the next game, Metamora, they fell by 6. They're number 9 in 3A. They're always a threat. They were huge last year, one of the few teams that actually beat Community last year. So that's a very talented squad. And since then, it has been all W's in the win column. They beat Pekin by 28, Limestone by 17, Lanphier by 20. And then in the Pekin Insurance Holiday Tourney, which they're coming off of a first-place victory, they beat PSHS by 8, Hersey by 19. The big win was against Chicago Mount Carmel, who is number 7 in 3A. And they beat them by 4, and then they played Moline in the championship, taking them down by 17. So this team is red hot, and most importantly, really battle-tested.
Yeah, a lot happens in the 9-5 record does not at all describe, like, even tell the full story about what this team's had to go through. I'm really excited to see how they are going to match up against Community. One thing about Morton, we see they have a lot of tall players. I mean, they're around, like, evenly matched for our team, but one thing they're missing is that, like, Kobe Walker, 6'9" type of player. So interesting to see. Obviously, they've had success against some really great teams on a national level. So interesting to see what they do with their height and how they maximize kind of how they play, even without that huge true big.
They may be missing a Kobe Walker, but they have Wes Gudeman, a player last year that was a star for them. Second in points per game last year, putting up 14 a game. This year he leads them, putting up 15 points a game, 6 boards, 2 assists. He shoots 50%, 39% from 3, and there's just something about his game. He can take it from coast to coast. He can take it from the three-point line, and then when he gets into the lane, he will hit you with some crazy post moves. He's got a lot in his bag, and that's going to be a key for Community to shut down or keep in control tonight. Now we will go to the PA announcer for the national anthem and tonight's starters.
Morton Potters and your normal Ironmen. Normal Community would like to give a special welcome to our guests from Morton High School. Fans, please remember that admission to an interscholastic event is a privilege, and with that privilege comes responsibility. Responsibility to conduct oneself in a manner that will allow others to enjoy the game. Thank you. At this time, will everyone please rise as you are able, face the flag, and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of the national anthem. starters first for the Potters from Morton High School. At guard, a 6-foot junior, number 5, Alex McKee. Also at guard, a 6'3" junior, number 11, Silas Steffen. Third guard is a 5'10" senior, number 22, Trip Rugard. At forward, a 6'6" senior, number 25, Cal Boker. And the other forward is a 6'5" senior, number 32, Wes Gudeman. Potters are coached by Abe Zeller and assisted by Nate Schroeder, Jesse Crawford, Cooper Kraft, Luke Overcash, and Aaron Weber. And now here's your starting 5 for your home team, Normal Ironmen. At guard, a 6'1" senior, number 10, Marcus Russell. The other guard is a 5'10" junior, number 3, Andrew Nauer. In the middle, at center, a 6'9" senior, number 42, Kobe Walker. At one forward, a 6'3" freshman, number 23, Chase Gaston. And in the other forward, a 6'4" senior, number 21, Owen Osborne. The Ironmen are coached by Dave Witzig and assisted by Nate Foster, Matt Schweinberg, Ryan Short, John Hughes, LaConte Nix, and Derek Schonauer. The officials for tonight's game are Don King, Gene Rayford, and Shane Parker.
And that was the starting lineups for tonight's games. If you have been watching Ironman basketball, there have been a couple changes into the starting lineup, with Andrew Nauer starting over Connor Smith, and Chase Caston gets a starting spot as a freshman. First time that has happened under Witzig.
Yeah, Witzig said he's never really had a freshman on the varsity team. Now he's starting.
Yeah, this is insane, and a well-deserved start from the lengthy forward. Now Morton is taking it. That is number 32, Wes Gudeman, who gives it over, and that's going to be a foul on the Ironman. That was Trip Rugard that got fouled there. Rugard's brother played last year and was only one of 2 seniors that Morton has lost. This team has 10 returners rostered. This is a very experienced team with lots of talent. Rugard's got it at the top of the key, the leader in assists. He's going to kick that one over to number 5, Alex McKee, the 3-point specialist for this team. Shoots 44% from downtown. Now there's a big man move right there from Wes Gudeman, who knocks that one down to start off the game. There it is right there, seeing how he can work the post, even though he's a 6'5" forward. Being able to put that one over Kobe Walker is quite tremendous, and you don't see that very often.
Yeah, we were talking about that pregame. I was like, 6'5", what do you mean he's a forward center? I see that right there. Said Giannis type moves.
Yeah, Kobe Walker's got that, gives it to Marcus Russell. Owen Osborne's got it. Chase Caston, the freshman, thinks about the 3. Andrew Nauer's going to cut inside, and the Ironmen are going to reset. Chase Caston at the 3-point line. This is a slower approach from the Ironmen, waiting to get their shot, and this is good, patient basketball. Owen Osborne at the corner 3, gives it to Nauer. Nauer getting inside the paint, looking for Kobe, gets it up to Kobe. Kobe to Russell, what vision. That one gets blocked away by Morton. What a block from the Potters. And there's a 3-ball up and no good. Kobe Walker tips that one to himself as Silas Steffen misses that deep ball. Marcus Russell's taking it the other way. Chase Caston again with it at the corner. And there is a steal. And the layup is good from Alex McKee. Alex McKee averages 14 points a game and shoots 44% from downtown. He is a straight shooter and also gets a lot of steals, as you see it right there. And he's not afraid to take it to the rack with that fast break layup. A quick 4-0 start for the Potters. Nauer gives it to Caston. Caston, no hesitation, three, just rims in and out, nearly falls down. Caston's three-point shooting was lights out at the start of the season. The percentages have gone down a little bit as the season's progressed, but he earned himself a starting spot as a freshman. Lots of great things to come for Caston. Speaking of lots of great things to come, Jarrell Brown is checking in. The sophomore has emerged as one of Community's top players this season. He does it all. Marcus Russell's going to take that one in. He loves to drive the ball, kicks it to Nauer. Nice screen from Russell. Nauer gets inside, draws the foul, nearly had that one. And there will be 2 free throws coming up for the ink spotter, Andrew Nauer.
I've heard he's an energy guy. You saw that right there after that missed and one, I guess, possibility. He clapped his hands like that. You can tell he's pretty passionate about the game and about news.
He knocks down that first free throw there. A straight swish from Nauer, getting the iron on the board over 3 minutes into the game, and this is the first Ironman basket. Jarrell Brown has checked into the game for Owen Osborne, and we have a pretty young lineup. Every single grade, there is a freshman in Caston, sophomore in Jarrell Brown, junior in Nauer, and seniors Kobe Walker and Marcus Russell are in the game. A very spread look for the Iron. Now Morton is taking it. That is Rugard, who nearly steps out, and he does step out of bounds. That's going to be Iron basketball. Rugard leads his team in assists per game, but he also leads his team in turnovers as well. He's really a true point guard, you would say. Nauer has McKee on him. McKee already has a steal and a bucket. Nauer's going to drive, looking for Brown. Instead gives it over to Russell. Russell drives. Back to Nauer. Time to reset. Nauer to Caston. Caston thought about the three and is now stopped in the inside. He has number 25, Cal Boker on him, the 6'6" forward. That'll be a foul on the Potters.
Russell taking a few hits on the ground in the last few plays. Pretty physical tonight.
Yeah, you talked about how Nauer's kind of that hustle guy. Russell's the other hustle guy, and it's really cool to see both of them starting alongside each other because they play really alike. Nauer does like the three ball a lot more, but they both love to drive it, and it's really the defense that has so many similarities. They just hustle and never give up on defense, and really they just swarm. The people they're guarding, they swarm them and they can't get around them. That's what makes them so difficult to play against, and why they both have starting spots on this team. Marcus Russell knocks down both of those. We got a tie game, 4-4, 4 minutes into the contest. Rugard is taking it with Marcus Russell on him. Russell forced him out of bounds on the last possession and is not letting him get anywhere. Andrew Nauer tips that one over to Walker and then dives on the floor and gets it back. And that's going to be hit out of bounds by the Potters. That should be Ironman basketball. And there, once again, hustle play from both Russell and Nauer. They're really leading the squad right now.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite players. Like the smaller guards, they're just like on the floor constantly on the girls basketball team. We know Amia Lester, Zoe Wilde. They can just like kind of set an energy, set a tone for the team in such a contagious way. Yeah,
Nauer is just 5'10", but he shows no signs of it as he is just a straight hustle player and gets whatever he wants. And there's Kobe Walker getting whatever he wants on number 32, Wes Gudeman. They have traded baskets here tonight, both on each other. This should be an exciting matchup between Gudeman and Walker. Although Walker does have 4 inches on him, Gudeman's got a little bit of speed on Walker.
Number 12, Jaden Orrick.
Jaden Orrick has checked into the ball game. That's a player that's been seeing a lot more minutes as the season has progressed. He's a 5'7" senior from last year's team and is one of those energy guys that can knock down the three ball. Owen Osborne nearly gets the steal there. Rugard with some fancy handles. The three is up and no good from the Potters. That was Owen Adams off the bench that missed that one. And the Potters are going to have a second chance here. They're slowing it up. Rugard commands the offense very well. It is quite an organized offense with Rugard at the head of it. He's going to drive, kicks it open. There's the 3 ball. That's up and no good from the Potters. And it looked like an over-the-back call against Wes Gudeman. That should be his first foul, I believe. Now, that's one thing if the Ironmen get Gudeman in foul trouble. It's a completely different approach from Morton, where you might even see a 5 out where they're trying to shoot the 3 ball. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, that's what foul trouble is, probably the worst thing to do for a coach, because you have to go into your bench. You have to get deeper. And I think that Community has a great bench too. So
Community is very deep, as they're showing their starters have changed from week 1. I mean, 2 different starters for Community. Jaden Orick's getting in the first quarter, and Orick didn't get in until the 4th quarter for most games at the start of this season. So a lot of things are changing for the Iron, a whole new approach for this team. It's going to be a foul on Owen Osborne, I believe, possibly Jaden Orick. That foul will be on Orick, his first foul, 3rd foul of the quarter for the Iron. You start getting close to the bonus here. Salas Stefan gives that one to Rugard. Rugard's going to get it into Gudeman. Gudeman back to Rugard. Thinks about the 3. Gudeman in the paint. Got Owen Osborne on him. Kobe's in help. Kobe going out to the 3-point line as there's a 3 that nearly bounces in for the Potters. And Gudeman's got it back at the top of the key. He's driving, drives on Owen Osborne. Kobe tried to help, but the layup is good. Nice move from Wes. He's up to 4 points in the contest.
yeah, he's been a really interesting player now. I've seen him. He's just got a big body, but he's got a quick burst going in there. A lot of strength and quickness inside. It's like the perfect finisher.
Yeah, that's a really good description. Big body, but he has some quick bursts, and that is for sure. Jarrell Brown from deep, and he knocks it down. Brown is an excellent 3-point shooter, and he just shoots it with such confidence. If you just see him and you think that he's a sophomore, that I would never expect Brown to be a sophomore with the IQ that he plays and just how much confidence he has, but he knocks down that 3 in a big way. It is 9-6 Iron. Now Rugard has had the ball in his hand for the majority of this first quarter for the Potters. Kicks that one over to number 13, Salas Stefan. Now here's a drive from Colin Burns. Burns back to Rugard. Rugard, a spin move on Orick. Kobe Walker's in help. There's a 3 ball from Morton. That's up, and that is good. It is a tie ball game, 9-9. That was Silas Stefan from deep downtown. We are tied up, closing up this first quarter. It has been exciting and really a defense-heavy first quarter. A little bit different than what we saw in the JV game, where the teams combined for nearly 40 points in this first quarter. These teams might not combine for even 20. For the JV game, Morton ended up winning by nearly 30 points. And they have a lot of two-way players that make up this varsity team as well. They are just a young team that has, there's the and one from Nauer, putting in the clutch gene. We've seen this time and time again. He had 2 buzzer beaters in one game earlier this season, and there is a clutch shot with 5.5 seconds left on the clock. What a finish from Nauer. He's up to 4 points on the game. Now he's at the free throw line. Caston is checking into the game, and Carter Harris has checked into the game as well, someone that we usually didn't see until the 4th quarter and is getting in nice and early in the game. Things are changing for Iron basketball, and so far, so good here tonight with the 11-9 lead.
Yeah, it seems like they kind of need to do some things differently to beat such a talented Morton squad tonight.
Nauer knocks that one down. He's got 5 points in the contest, leading all athletes. Cal Boker, the 6'6" forward, has checked in, one of the few seniors on this Morton team. Now looking for a quick bucket. There's Boker, and that one's going to be no good, and that'll be the end of the first quarter with the Ironmen leading 12-9. Thoughts on the first quarter, Bella?
That was a pretty good game. I mean, obviously defensive heavy, not a lot of scoring, but obviously going to be a chess match as we get through it. The community seems to be getting in a groove. As you said, lots of roster changes. There was a foul.
Yeah, they did call a foul,
Okay.
so there will be free throws being shot. That first one was off the mark. And the second one is down and good. It was 12-10 correction at the end of the first quarter. Continue.
Yeah. So even though it's 12-10, I mean, they're only combining for 22 points total right now. But still, like you said, community, a lot of roster changes, a lot of things going around. We've seen Jarrell Brown contribute. We've seen the freshman Chase Caston contribute. It seems really interesting the way community's playing. And Morton, their star player, Goodeman, is just dominant. I've seen. I would see him. I hope to see, not hope as a community fan, but I would expect to see him trying to assert himself more.
And one thing that Goodeman does is he doesn't have to stay in the paint the whole time, and he can be outside of the arc, which possesses you to guard him. For Morton, and it allows people to knock down the three ball, and that is why Alex McKee is so dominant from three, because there's so many opportunities being given to him. Here's a stat from Alex McKee. He has knocked down 43 threes this season, which is over 3 a game, and he has attempted over 100 threes. So it is really the way Morton plays is Goodeman oriented. And then once he gets double teamed or there's an opening, they love to shoot the three ball, and we've seen that in this first quarter. Kobe Walker nearly had an open lane, but a hustle play from Morton causes a jump ball and Potter basketball. That was a play that looked like it might have been called a foul, but it was straight hustle from Cal Boker. We're seeing a lot from him in this first quarter.
No easy points in this game. I mean, that could have been a great little layup for Kobe, but just hustle all around.
I want to point out excellent pressure from the underclassmen, Chase Caston and Jarrell Brown, nearly causing a turnover there. We will be saying their name a lot for Ironman basketball in the coming years. There's a three-pointer. That's up, and it's good. Three-point basket from Owen Adams. And Morton takes their first lead since the beginning of the first quarter. Andrew Nauer gives that to Jarrell. Are they going to trade baskets? And that one's just off the back iron. It's getting hit around in the paint. And timeout is called by the Potters. The head coach of the Potters is Abe Zeller, it was his first season last year, and he took the Potters 28-5. And they ended up falling just in the second round of the playoffs because they met Richwoods. Richwoods ended up finishing third, and they only lost by 3 points to Richwoods, but that was the end of their season. Since then, they've only lost 2 seniors, and they have regained 10 players, including players like Goodeman, McKee, and Rugard, who were top 3 of 5 in last year's team. So they have a lot of experience, and they're coming back looking even better than last season. Although the record might not show it, this is a very solid squad.
Yeah, we talk about this Morton program. We said they have a 62% win percentage throughout their whole history. And I think they're in pretty good hands. That JV team, those players, there were some freshmen that looked like grown men. It was insane. So I think this Potters team will be good for a long time.
That is for sure. They had some really big freshmen that could get to the rack and finish. They are a very deep squad. Now McKee drives it. He's going to kick that out. Deep three, up and good. That is another three from Owen Adams. The junior has come off the bench and sparked a fire in this team, knocking down back-to-back triples in the second quarter. Morton is chanting D up from their bench. The Iron need a bucket. Chase Caston's going to drive. He sees an open Oric. Oric with a little move. Gives it to Nauer. Nauer, deep ball, up and good. Nauer, have yourself a game. He's got 8 points in just one of his first starts. He started starting at the State Farm Classic, and since then he has seen lots of success, especially here tonight. There's a drive from the Potters trying to get around Caston. A near travel, turns it over to Osborne. Now Nauer's got it at the top of the key, gets it to Orick. Haven't seen much from Kobe Walker yet, but they haven't really needed to. Walker's got one bucket, and he's being guarded by Cal Boker inside. Jaden Orick, deep three, no good. There's a board from the Potters, nearly taken away from Caston. Now the Potters bringing it up, not wasting any time. And now they might start to slow it down. Colin Burns with the ball in his hand coming off of the bench, and Kobe Walker's all over that, smothers the pass. Osborne with the steal, and the Iron are going to take it the other way. Jaden Orick orchestrating the offense and trying to slow it down, but they're going to get it into Kobe Walker, and he puts that one in. 4th point of the night for Walker, and the Iron regain their lead in just a minute of being in a deficit.
That's one of those easy points for Kobe Walker here, taking the lead with just 5 minutes left.
It was a beautiful pass by Osborne to set that up. The Potters are going to take it. They're in the paint on Kobe Walker, and a high arcing shot from Cal Boker, who has been excellent on the defensive end, has held Kobe Walker to only 4 points and finishes a tough one there over the 6'9" Walker. Boker is 6'6". Chase Caston's open in the corner. He's got the shot. Just misses that one. Kobe Walker's getting the offensive board, puts it back in. 19-18 for Walker, or 19-18 for the Iron. 6 points for Walker. He's starting to get going. We have a back and forth contest here, and both offenses have really opened up in this second quarter. Boker is left alone in at the three-point line. Iron aren't really worried about him shooting the deep ball. There's a 3 ball from the Potters. That's up and good. Once again, Owen Adams has made his 3rd 3 of the night, and he is on fire. 3rd 3 of the quarter, excuse me.
I will tell you, every single good team I've seen play can get crazy, like on fire from 3. I do not want to let any more 3s up because I feel like it's going to become a little out of hand.
Chase Caston with a nice mid-ranger there. That looked smooth, a nice little crossover to the pretty open mid-range that he knocks down. The Potters are taking it the other way, again not wasting any time. McKee from 3. They are lighting it up from beyond the arc, and off-balanced, falling away. Three-pointer is good from the senior three-point sniper.
Yeah, when one person gets confidence like Adams, then it spreads to the whole team, and we're seeing them take over from 3.
There's a foul on the Potters. We are going to get Gudeman back in the game. Gudeman has not played, I believe, all of the second quarter. And he played the entire first quarter, then got some rest, and there hasn't really been a break in a couple minutes. He's just been kind of sitting there. They didn't need to call a timeout because they were knocking them down from 3. The Potters have a 3-point lead, and they have a well-rested Gudeman into the game. Kobe Walker just misses that one. Seemed a bit off-balanced in a tough angle, and the Potters will take it the other way. Along with Gudeman, Rugard was out of the game. There's another 3, no good. And a hustle play from the Potters. The second chance, no good. That's going to bounce off of Kobe Walker, and that'll be Potters basketball. Hustle play there. Alex McKee got the offensive board. He does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we're seeing an insane hustle from Morton. Definitely have to keep up.
There's another 3 ball, and that nearly fell down for the Potters. Big break for the Iron, who will look to redeem themselves on the offensive end. Nauer, Osborne, Caston, Kobe Walker, and Jarrell Brown are into the contest. Deep 3 from Brown. Give me that. 3-point shot from Brown. It's a tie ball game, 24-24 with just about 2 minutes left in the second quarter. No hesitation. NBA-style 3 from Brown, and that one is good. Now the 3 from the Potters, no good. Right off the rim from Rugard. Walker's hustling for the board, and he's got it. He gets fouled on the play. Just the second foul from both teams in the whole entire quarter. This quarter's really just been flying by, and both offenses are going real fast and just trying to get the best looks, and they're getting some good looks and also making some really tough shots.
Yeah, very evenly contested so far. 24-24 with 2 minutes left until halftime.
Walker again in the post. Great feed from Chase Caston. That's something you can't really learn very fast in high school basketball, to be able to feed that in there. He's just a freshman, first year of high school basketball, and gives Walker the perfect pass. And it was an easy finish from there for the big man. Gudeman's got Osborne on him. Walker's in help. And that leaves an open three-point attempt, and just off the mark from Silas Steffen, who made one earlier. As Alex McKee was running out of bounds to try to get the ball, it got tipped off of a community player, and McKee's hustle gives the Potters a second chance once again. It's going to be a foul on the Iron, their first of the quarter. Foul will be on the floor. No free throws for the Potters. It is a 2-point Ironman lead. What about this game? This is a great basketball game and exactly what we wanted to see here tonight.
Yeah, definitely different from the previous game with the girls basketball team against East Moline, a blowout there. This is some exciting basketball. We see Kobe Walker get the rebound. Community has a chance.
Walker has been dominant this season, putting up 19 points again, 10 rebounds a game, and 2 blocks per contest, and that is in just 23 minutes. He has been a monster. He almost gets the block there, and that's going to be a charge. Andrew Nauer takes the charge as Tripp Rugard was trying to get an and one there. Nauer set his feet, and huge hustle play. The Ironman bench was ecstatic. You'll love to see it. There has been a momentum shift in the building. It was 24-21 Potters. All of a sudden, the Iron have really stepped it up on three and just started hustling and knocking down shot after shot. It started when Jarrell Brown nailed a deep three, and Brown's got it at the Ironman logo. Gives it to Osborne. Osborne to Nauer. Ironman are slowing it up. They might try to keep this for the last possession. It's almost down to 30 seconds now, and I think the Iron are going to try to hold this for the last possession of the first half. Up by 2, 26-24. Jarrell Brown and Nauer are playing catch right now, and now Brown gives it to Osborne. Ironmen are going to start looking for something. Nauer at the end. He's been clutch at the end of quarters. He was clutch at the end of the first, making an and one with 5 seconds. He's got a tough Potters defense on him, and somehow he knocks that one in. A turnaround hook shot to close out the first half. Nauer's got that clutch gene in him. He's also got 10 points, and the Ironmen are leading 28-24 at halftime. How about Andrew Nauer?
Wow, yeah, you said he took the charge. Guys, he's taking charge of this game.
Ooh, I like that.
10 points on the charge. He's really in this getting the starting place tonight. He's had a really big impact. We've seen he's got and ones. He made a 3. He's getting shots at the end of the half. This has just been like a lot of energy that he's providing, a lot of energy all around. We saw that shot from Jarrell Brown. That was a deep 3. We've seen a lot of just momentum-building plays from the Iron late in this second quarter.
Yeah, that was a great quarter from the Ironmen. It looks like you've been tracking shots and points. Do you have all of the shots from tonight?
You know, it might be a little messy, but I probably do.
Let's go. All right, so we'll get those stats in a little bit from the point totals from the Ironman. Nauer does have 10. He took a charge there. The clutch gene was in full effect, and the Ironmen came into this game really exactly how they wanted to, avenging the State Farm Classic loss to Sacred Heart Griffin. That was a game that no one really expected to be the final score that it was, 70-53, but now the Ironmen are able to turn it around. This is a game where they can kind of get their name back and show everybody who they are. They fell down to 14 in the 4A AP poll, and that was before their loss in the Classic. That was after their loss to Rhode Island. So they have started to have some real tests, and this is another one here tonight. It'd be great to see them come out on top. And one thing I want to talk about is how they've been able to stop Gudeman. Gudeman only has 4 points. How about that?
Yeah, Gudeman with 4 points, but we've seen other players kind of take over. Owen Adams had 9 points, 3 triples. It seems like the whole Morton team has the pieces around. Like you said, Gudeman, you said it runs around Gudeman. Even though he's not been able to score, we've seen so much hustle and so many second chance opportunities for the Potters to still make an impact, despite maybe not having that huge performance from Gudeman. It's really interesting to see how the Potters are really adjusting to everything and taking what's being thrown at them, and still finding a way to be really solid in this game.
Yeah, and the Iron have kept Trip Rugard scoreless. Rugard is 3rd in scoring per game, kind of runs their offense, and the Iron have shut him down, whether it was Marcus Russell or Andrew Nauer guarding him. He's had nowhere to go, and he's kind of he's the guy that can find lots of people, and when he's getting shut down with guys like Nauer and Russell, those are my 2 players of the game right now, just because of their defensive presence, being able to slow up the Morton offense, and that is what's given Community this 28-24 lead, and they've gone on a 7-0 run since they were down. Actually, excuse me, I think it's a 8-0 run. They were down 24-20, and since then they have been on fire, and we'll see if that carries on to the 3rd quarter. Now, looking at, do you have the totals for points?
I have some stats. I think there's 2 points missing, but
okay, we'll see if we can figure them out.
Whatever
we might be able to.
Nauer is leading the team with 10 points at half. Second is Kobe Walker with 8. He had 4 layups.
Yep.
And then Jarrell Brown had the 2 triples.
That's 24.
And then Marcus Russell contributed with 2 points.
And Chase Caston had a bucket himself. Yep.
Chase Caston is that final one with the 2 points.
Yeah, so a pretty spread approach from the Ironmen with Nauer and Walker leading it offensively. They have 18 of the 28. We're getting some stats here. This is great. We haven't had that yet this year, and we are stepping it up. Now, looking at the Big 12 standings, we're starting to get to that time of year when the conference games really start picking up. Obviously, this one is out of conference, but we will have a ton of in-conference to close out the season. We're hitting stride into the second half. Looking at Big 12 standings, right now the first place is tied between Manual, who's 3-0 in conference, 8-5 overall, and Peoria, who's 3-0 in conference, 14-1 overall. Like Bella said in the pregame, Manual is number 1 in 2A. They will be one of the top challengers in 2A this year, could be state champs. Peoria is number 2 in 3A, also looking for a state championship there, and they have had some great teams in the past, whether it's Sean Livingston, a Peoria legend who led them to a state championship back, I'm not sure exactly the year, but I think maybe 15, 20 years ago. NCHS is behind Peoria just because they haven't played as many in the Big 12, 2-0 in conference, 9-2 overall. They are number 13 in the 4A AP poll, and it seems like the Big 12 will be shaping up to kind of a three-team race between those 3 teams. Urbana has stepped it up, though. They are actually in 4th. They're 2-1 in conference. This is a big difference from last year. Then Danville and Champaign Central are also 2-1 in conference. Centennial at 1-2, Richwoods at 1-3, and then Peoria, Notre Dame, West, and Bloomington are all winless in conference. But Bloomington did get a win this year. They're 1-11 overall and have had a lot closer games, including a game against Peoria, which was only a 12-point differential, which was very surprising. So Bloomington is starting to turn around their program from last year's winless season, and we're seeing a lot more pressure from the Big 12 this year than maybe last year.
Yeah, I think it's interesting the way Peoria and all these teams are playing. We've seen NCHS having a pretty good season. We won the Big 12 championship last year. Even in a competitive thing with Peoria High, having a good season, right?
Yeah, really good season.
There's a lot of like competitive parts in the Big 12. But community, I want to see another championship. I always love to see more awards. This was last year for the girls team. It was kind of like a similar three-headed race that ended up with community just being second. So it kind of sucks to be like that, just like the one who never gets the first place spot. But I want to see that for community this year.
Sometimes that can kind of bring a rage inside of you, though, and take out a different monster once it gets to playoffs, because what's the most important? Trying to get that state championship. So whether the Iron can avenge Peoria and take that top spot this year, or if they can't, they will still be a big threat in the postseason. And the next game, we've been talking about Peoria, and the next game for the Ironmen is going to be at Peoria High School. We'll get into more of that at the end of this broadcast, but that will be on January 7, an away game. Peoria's ranked as one of the top 100 teams nationally on Max Preps, so can't wait for that one. Make sure to try to travel if you can to Peoria for that one. I'm going to try to, because that will be a fun one. Now let's take a second and look at the AP poll right before we get into this second half. Right now in 4A, Kenwood's leading at number 1, and this AP poll did come out December 18. That is the newest one. Quincy's behind them, then Bolingbrook, Waubonsie Valley, someone who beat Community last year. Homewood Flossmoor, who beat Community in the championship last year, is number 5. Bennett Academy, another team that took down Community, even though Community just had 6 losses last season. Then Lincoln Park at 7, Marist at 8, Rock Island, who took down Community this year, at 9, and Glenbard West at 10. Looking at 3A, DePaul College Preps at 1, then Peoria, Mount Zion, Brother Rice, Fenwick, St. Lawrence, Chicago Mount Carmel, Kankakee, Metamora, and Lamont. Now, Morton is not on that list yet, but this is because this is previous to their 7-game win streak. Once a new AP poll comes out, I would not be surprised if Morton hops into this top 10, especially seeing how they played tonight with their best player not really getting anything going, but they still are within 4 of a community team that is playing very good basketball.
Yeah, I mean, this Morton, we said those 3 losses at the beginning of the season probably when this AP poll came out. They do not even tell what this Morton team actually is capable of. Very close games in those 3 first games against nationally ranked teams. So they definitely have a lot of experience, and they have a lot of capabilities to do damage in 3A.
I mean, they're playing like a college team because they're going to Florida. They're going to playing a team in California. Maybe they meet halfway, but still, that is a big trip. That is a long trip. And they're playing games like this with such high stature and really important matchups against some of these nationally ranked teams, and that is what makes an Illinois team that can win it all. That's how it works in Illinois when you start playing out-of-state teams. And this is a big test for the Ironmen, playing someone that has played teams like that.
Yeah, Morton played Metamora earlier this season. That was at a neutral site. That was at Wesleyan. So they've like prepared for these big crowds, for these big events for their games.
Yeah, looking at last season, Morton was 28-5. This year, 9-5 with an average score of 56-45. They only have 24 right now, which would be about 8 points short of their season average. Now, Gudeman's got Osborne on him again, Kobe in help, and that pass ends up ricocheting off the rim, something you don't see very often. It looked like Morton might have been able to get that pass. They were trying to get it over Kobe Walker, and instead it hit the rim. Marcus Russell has a turnover on that one, and the Iron bench would like to see a tip there. They were right by the action, thought they saw a tip, no call. Morton's going to take it the other way. Trip Rugard's got it with Marcus Russell all over him. And back to Rugard. Morton waiting for their shot. Rugard handles the ball a lot of the time, gets called for a travel as he fell to the ground and continued to dribble and then had to pick it up. He was not very happy with that call, and we're starting to see some emotions intensify, and that's what you get in games like this, in these high-profile matchups. Marcus Russell controlling the tempo for the Iron. Substitution, Connor Smith is into the game. First time we've seen him. Marcus Russell with a tough finish over number 13, Silas Steffen, the 6'3" guard. Marcus Russell had to really get up there for that one and put that one in the cup. Now Steffen wants a bucket of his own. That gets blocked by Walker. Second chance opportunity, up and good. That was Cal Boker that got the board and put that one up. Boker is having himself a game. Connor Smith giving that one to Osborne. Osborne slowing it up, back to Smith. This is the first time all year we haven't seen Smith in the first half. But now he is in and he wants to make a difference. The three-point specialist and really a great ball handler throws that one. That's going to be a jump ball between Kobe Walker and Silas Steffen. But that will be Potters basketball, 30-26, Iron lead. Rugard's got it at the top of the key. And once again, we're seeing Rugard handle the ball quite a lot. And there is a attempt from Alex McKee, who we haven't seen as much from beyond the arc, but we've seen a lot of steals from him. And we've seen just some real hustle plays. There was a hustle play there, getting to the rack and drawing the foul. McKee is a sharp three-point shooter, and he does shoot 70% from the free throw line. The first one is up, and that is good. Swish from McKee. Chase Caston has checked into this game for Owen Osborne. And we now have a lineup with 3 seniors. Andrew Nauer is a junior and Caston, the freshman, back into the ballgame. Both free throws were good from McKee, and it is a one-possession ball game once again. There is a full-court press going on from the Potters, which if you break it can be a quick breakaway basket, but it can also force a lot of steals and a 10-second violation, which the Iron just got as they just weren't able to get it past the line as those 10 seconds were counted.
You saw Marcus Russell there saying, "Don't fret, guys. This is not anything to get emotional about." He's trying to keep the composure of this team as they try to keep this lead and also extend it.
Yeah, Russell looks to kind of be that one of those serious and senior leaders on this squad, and he has been a real role model for a lot of these guys. Chase Caston is guarding Gudeman. Now here's Rugard trying to get it in. Great pass from Rugard and the finish from Cal Boker. The Iron have really decided to hone in on Wes Gudeman, and that has allowed Boker to get to the rack many times, and he's having himself a night. We're tied up 30-30 in this back-and-forth ball game. Marcus Russell is trying to get it across the line. A 10-second violation. Once again, back-to-back possessions where the Ironmen did not get it across the front court. And Coach Witzig's talking to Chase Caston, these situations he hasn't really been in before, and the situations that you need him to be in when you get into playoffs, when this happens. Full court press happens a lot in the playoffs, and it's something that is really hard to get past. But once you start getting past it, you can have some easy buckets. There's the deep ball by Gudeman. Gudeman can shoot the three if left open, and there it is from the senior. Now the Iron will try to get it past the backcourt. It has been 2 straight possessions where they failed to do so. They get it this time. Connor Smith's got it over at the corner. Gives it into Kobe Walker. Kobe Walker double team. Gives it to Smith. Deep 3. Up and good. Smith knocks down his first attempt of the game. It's 33-33 in the third quarter. We've got a ball game, folks. Rugard's taking it back. And that's going to be a foul on Marcus Russell as Rugard tried to just kind of speed past the community offense.
Yeah, Connor Smith didn't play the whole first half. Now he's got a 3 here. We're going to want to see more of that sharp shooting as Community tries to build up some momentum in this game.
A different substitution than expected for the Iron as Owen Osborne comes in for Marcus Russell. and Marcus Russell is visibly frustrated on the bench, and that's just what happens when you love the game. He loves this team and loves Ironman basketball. That one is no good. Now we're trying to get that one. We also have a substitution for the Potters. Owen Adams, the guy who lit it up from deep, is into this ball game. There's a deep shot from the Potters, and that one is knocked down. Owen Adams once again makes the shot right as he comes into the game. He's got 12 points off the bench and leads all players in scoring here tonight. Is he 4 for 4 from 3, maybe 4 for 5? I don't think he's missed tonight.
I don't think he has either. Every time he's shooting it up, it's just going in. We've seen that from Morton. Their three-point shots been pretty good tonight. We've seen Gudeman hit his first 3. I don't want to get them into a rhythm out there, especially with how close this game is. Need to keep this game controlled, keep this game together and not get anything out of hand.
Yeah, both teams have been able to shoot the 3 ball nicely, as the Iron have as well. We've seen Jarrell Brown knock it down. We just saw a 3 from Connor Smith, and here the Iron trying to break through the press again. Caston was open for a second, but they just missed him, and you start wondering when that 10 seconds will come, and the Ironmen have broken through. Osborne gets it into Smith. Smith with a jump stop, and that one almost falls. Nice jump stop from Smith, and a good take. He was pretty open, took a couple hits on the rim, and falls short. Smith on Rugard. Rugard likes driving and then just kind of taking steps back to the three-point line. He's been doing it all today. That one almost falls in. Kobe Walker nearly touches it. Good thing he didn't, as Wes Gudeman just misses that one. Community continues to keep him from having a big night. Now Kobe Walker just threw that one up, and Gudeman, it seemed like it got blocked on the way up, and it spun around as it was in the air, and just a straight swish, something we usually don't see from the block. Kobe swishing it. He loves to use the backboard, but that one was straight up and good. Double digits for Walker. Gudeman's got it at the three-point line. He's going to drive, kick it. They like to shoot the 3 ball, waiting to find their best shot. Now they're going to reset. Rugard's got the ball for the Potters, driving in on Smith. No call. Air ball from Rugard. Reset for the Potters. There's number 13. Big shot, 3 up and no good from Silas Steffen, but there's an offensive rebound from Rugard. He gets his first basket of the night to give the Potters a 3-point lead. It's 38-35, just under 2.5 in this third quarter. Chase Caston's taking it fast the other way. Now the Iron are going to slow it up. Andrew Nauer with the ball. Nauer with McKee on him, gives it to Smith. Smith with Rugard on him, gets it to Osborne. Osborne from 3, that's good. Deep shot from Owen Osborne. Nice make from the senior. Last year he really struggled with the 3 ball, just shooting about 20% from 3. And this year he is shooting over 40% from downtown, and you see it right there. Rugard with a no-look underhand pass that nearly went out of bounds, and the Potters have regained possession. Lots of ball movement for this Morton team. And there is a beautiful pass, and gets it over to Rugard from 3. That one is missed and out of, that's going to be a foul on Silas Steffen, who, as he went to try to bat the ball down, also got a piece of Kobe Walker's arm. What about that pass from Gudeman, though? Up and over, looked like a hook shot. That was a beautiful pass.
I mean, that was perfect. That was great ball movement by Morton, too. A perfect shot. Just couldn't hit it. But I expect Morton to get some more of those nice little passes, some of those nice open shots. Just don't. Ooh.
Jarrell Brown's checked into the game and has immediately made an impact, getting it into Walker. Walker just overshoots that one. I don't think he expected to be so open, as Morton has been all over him tonight. But Brown is showing what he can do and how he can make such a difference is in the opening seconds that he gets in, drives it to the lane with a nice pass to Walker. We've seen back-to-back good opportunities on both sides of the ball, but no finishes for the Potters and the Ironmen. And there's a finish, though, as Gudeman shows off his vision, finding Colin Burns off the bench, the 6'3" forward. There's going to be a foul on Morton as the Iron were trying to get it in. That's something that you mess with a little bit when you're doing full court press, but this press has really worked for Morton for the most part, and the Iron have not burned them many times.
Yeah, but I just talked about the passes. Wow, that was a great pass from Gudeman. That's just like breaking down the defense, right? There's not much like a guy like Jokic maybe. It's just like you can't really account for that amazing like eyes of the back of your head kind of thing that some players just have.
Yeah, Gudeman is your quintessential modern day big. He can pass it, he can shoot the rock, he can also get in, hit you with a nasty post move. He does a little bit of everything. Caston's giving that one off to Nauer. Nauer's driving it, sees an open Smith. Smith from three. The Ironmen were red hot from three. That one just misses. Smith made one earlier in this third quarter. Down under 30 seconds in the third. Gudeman and Caston getting physical. Senior and freshman. Caston just a freshman guarding the team leading Gudeman. And that's going to be a foul on Jarrell Brown.
On the ground for Jarrell Brown, his first, team fourth. Substitution, Pregame 12, Jaden Orick.
Jaden Orick has checked into the game for Jarrell Brown, going with more of a small ball move, and I think that's for the defense that Orick can supply. He's a player that's a lot like Nauer and Russell on the defensive end, just a pest defensively. Oh, the Potters taking it the other way. Gudeman going right to the throat of Walker and knocks it down. There's 4 seconds on the clock, down to 3-2. Nauer's got it. He wants another miracle shot, and that one will not fall. You know, for a second, knowing Nauer, I thought he might come up with something there.
Yeah, I got some flashbacks to that half-court shot little contest that we had in the girls' basketball game. I got like some hopes in my chest, but still, Community down 4 points, and coming into the fourth. Morton's been getting into a groove this third quarter. At the end of that first half, Community was kind of looked like they were in control a little, getting into some runs. They were at an 8-0 run, I believe. Mm-hmm. So now we've seen the momentum kind of switch to Morton, but Community's still staying in. If they can keep suppress Morton a little bit more and keep riding it out in this game, I think this could be really close at the end.
Yeah, it should be. The Ironmen were leading by 4 at halftime. Now they're trailing by 4. Morton had a big quarter, and that's thanks to Gudeman, and not really in the way that you would expect. He only had 3 points in that quarter. Actually, excuse me, he did have 5. He made that final basket. He had 5 points in the quarter. He also had a couple assists, and he was really just a presence for them in spreading out that offense like we talk about. He gets double teamed, but he's got such great vision that he can find other people. And they also continue to knock down the 3 ball. We saw another one go through from Adams. He has 4 threes in the contest. So let's see how the Iron can respond in this closing quarter. Kobe Walker's got Gudeman on him, just going right at him. An easy post move and puts it over the 6'5" forward.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about presence for Gudeman, just makes me think of Jason Tatum, able to impact the game in all ways, even when he doesn't necessarily have the ball.
You always like a good Celtics reference, don't you? And there's the finish there from Silas Steffen. You know, you could have said anybody, but you had to say Jason Tatum. Oh, goodness. All right, Andrew Nauer's got it, and he gets into the lane. I didn't think he expected to be so open as he just flew past the Potter defense. Nauer has got it back again at the top of the key. He's going to get in again in the paint. He finds Osborne from 3. Osborne's driving. Lots of driving and kicking for the Iron. Waiting for their best shot. Connor Smith is on the floor, and he's got it corner 3. We have 4 seniors, 1 junior, a very experienced lineup, and Kobe Walker is at his destination. Sees Russell. Russell with a floater. That one just misses. It's bouncing around. Offensive rebound. Owen Osborne reset for the Iron. Marcus Russell from beyond the arc. He's going to drive in. He wants another shot at it. Tries to draw the foul. No foul call. Possession remains Iron. And that is hustle, hustle, hustle. Don't give up. And the Ironmen get the possession for their 3rd chance to try to score here. Rugard has checked into the game for the Potters.
Yeah, lots of good looks for the Ironmen that time. Just getting the offensive rebound again after again. Let's see if they can score here.
Andrew Nauer's got it with Rugard on him, and it seemed like a miscommunication there. Kobe Walker was held down low as they went with a triple team effect on Walker, and you start thinking maybe moving around trying to get a 3-ball for the Iron if Kobe Walker is getting hounded like that in the paint. Rugard nearly steps out of bounds, but the Potters remain with the possession, and there's their man just in and out from Gudeman, who got in and got the shot he wanted. That one just popped out. Nauer's going to take it the other way. Nearly throws that one away, trying to get Smith on a quick, fast break. Now it'll be time for the Iron to maybe slow up the pace and wait for their best shot.
Yeah, Potters are quick on defense. They're not letting anything come easy.
Nauer gets it into Walker. Walker, quick pass to Smith. Smith driving the lane, and Smith gets fouled on the play. A late foul call there. Looked like it could have been clean from Gudeman, but it is hard to see from up here. I'm sure there was some contact involved there as Smith went right to the gut of Gudeman. We're seeing a nice second half from Connor Smith, despite not playing the first at all. And the first free throw is up and good from Smith. Second free throw from the senior guard is good. It's back to a possession game for the Iron. It is a 2-point Morton Potters lead. And Marcus Russell nearly got taken out of the way there from Trip Rugard, but he got his positioning back, and the Iron are back on defense in a 5-on-5. A quick shot from the Potters and a beautiful shot from Silas Steffen, who kind of just throws that one up there. A nice floater to give the Potters a 4-point lead. Andrew Nauer has it with Rugard on him. Once again, Russell's got it. Rugard gives him some pressure. He's going to drive, and it's going to be a travel on Russell, who did not believe that he picked up his pivot foot.
Yeah, we want to see some maybe slower play. We've seen some travels. We've seen some kind of messy turnovers from Community, just looking for more control as the game winds down in these final 5 minutes.
The Iron have gotten a lineup in that is 4 seniors, 1 junior, a very experienced lineup that has had moments like this. Marcus Russell was trusted to guard some of the best players last year in clutch minutes to really just give a minute or two of his incredible hustle, letting some starters take some rest. So he's used to moments like this. Kobe Walker is too. These are big minutes for the guys on the court, but they know what it's all about. Owen Osborne on Gudeman. Walker in help. And Gudeman's just going to put that one over them both. And the Potters have their biggest lead of the game, up to 6 points. Chase Caston is going to check into this ball game for the Iron. Now Kobe Walker's got it. And on Gudeman, throws that one up and good. Nice post move. Quick timeout from Witzig after that. Turnaround post move. It is a 4-point lead for the Iron. What do you want to see in the last 4 minutes and 20 seconds for the Iron to pull this one off?
Yeah, I like that possession right there that ended with a Kobe Walker bucket. Just those like slower kind of things, getting shots that are more sure. Just getting shots that we know we can make. 4 minutes left. Gotta get at least 4 points right now. Hold Morton. Morton's been able to get in a groove, do things, but I'm just looking for that intensity on defense. Just get that spurt of energy to kind of get through this game and get back.
The Iron are without Trey Burdett tonight. Burdett is one of the leaders for this team, averages 7 points a game, 3 boards, a team leading 4 assists, and a team leading 2 steals. That is a big loss for the Iron tonight, and they have done pretty well without him, but they're going to need some big buckets here, and he's really been that playmaker for him. Andrew Nauer stepping into that position here tonight. Gudeman's got it at the Iron logo. And now Rugard. Morton has taken their time, And McKee with a quick drive and just misses that one. That was a speedy move from the junior who has really shown out tonight with hustle. Him and Now are both juniors that have just put in lots of work here tonight and have been rewarded. Kobe Walker got that one tipped out of his hands, and that's going to be Morton basketball as Caston tried to get it into Walker. That's a connection we're seeing a lot of. Caston at the three-point line, dumping it into Walker, and at times Walker can dump it back if Caston ends up being open. It's a really nice combination. I like it. Walker with his back to the basket, gets it to Smith. Quick move, quick ball movement. Nauer's got it. Nauer gets that one stripped away. A very smart play there from Silas Steffen, who nearly throws that one away. And now the Potters are going to slow it up. We are at 3:13. Wes Gudeman kind of putting his hand down, calming down his offense, wanting to slow down this approach for the Potters. There's 3 minutes on the clock and a 4-point lead. They don't want to make any silly mistakes. They are really taking their time here. Just Gudeman and Rugard passing it back and forth. Owen Adams is also on the court along with Alex McKee and Silas Steffen. Some great three-point shooters are on the court. All 5 of these players can knock down the deep ball and can drive it as well. We've seen Rugard drive it countless times here tonight. Rugard's got it back in his hand. They've wasted nearly a minute of play. That's at 2:20, and we're going to need something from the Ironman defense to force a steal. Chase Caston jumps, and a nice move there from Wes Gudeman as Chase Caston jumped. Gudeman saw his opening, went right to the rack, and finished with just 2 minutes left in this game. It's a 6-point Potters lead, and the Iron needs something, and they need it fast.
Gudeman, just a player that's incredibly smart. You saw him control the offense on that one, wait for the perfect opportunity to score.
Oh, huge block there from Silas Steffen, but Nauer's got it back for another chance to orchestrate this offense. Gives it to Smith. Smith with the tough turnaround J, no good. And that's going to be Ironman basketball. Alex McKee with the save. Connor Smith, Chase Caston, 3-ball, just off the front iron. Kobe Walker tips it to Osborne. And that's going to be an offensive foul on the Ironmen, and that'll be Morton basketball. You start wondering what the Ironmen are going to need to do here, and huge substitution. Marcus Russell coming into the game. This is the guy you need in these situations because he will play some hardcore defense, and he'll make you do something so the Potters can't just hold on to it, especially since he's on Rugard, one of the guys that loves to have the ball in his hands.
Yeah, going to need some pressure from the Ironmen here to try to get the Morton Potters from trying to keep the ball and run this game out.
There was an open three-point shot that they could have taken, but you can tell they're trying to hold this ball off, and there's the foul from Nauer, as that is just the 3rd Iron foul of the quarter. There will need to be 2 more before any bonus happens. And this is the point of desperation for the Ironmen with 1:19 left on the clock, down by 6. And Kobe Walker is right up on Gudeman. Marcus Russell with the foul. And we're seeing when the Iron go to double team, we're seeing jumping. And when Chase Caston jumped, it opened up an opening for Gudeman. When Russell jumped, it's kind of an off-balance jump too. He ended up fouling him. And there needs to be some clean double teaming, but now I think the Iron are just trying to foul, get them to the free throw line. And now Rugard will be going to the line for 2 free throws. Rugard shoots 69% from the free throw line, and these are 2 big ones. That one rattles home for the senior guard. The lead has blossomed to 7. The Iron are going to need some quick baskets. There is 73 seconds left in this game. Plenty of time in the terms of basketball, but also you have to do it quickly. That one goes in for Rugard. 8-point lead for the Potters. Back to the full court press. Connor Smith has got it. Gives it to Caston. Caston's at the 3-point line. Nearly loses it. Gives it back to Nauer. Nauer nearly steps out of bounds. That's going to be a push off on the Potters. Their second foul of the quarter. We are at exactly 1 minute left in this contest.
Yeah, Brown and Caston subbed in late in this game. Interesting to see that from Coach Witzig.
Well, Nauer can shoot the 3 ball. Smith can as well. And obviously, Caston and Brown love the deep ball. So he's getting some shooters in there. And Kobe Walker, just that pure domination. You need him in the game in these moments as well. And there's a look for Caston, 3-pointer, front rim. Kobe Walker's trying to tip that around. Caston gets it back. Caston to Nauer. We're at 45 seconds left in the game. Nauer throws that one away. Seems like a misstep there, and McKee will be going to the free throw line. And what are we going to need from the Ironmen to pull this one off and get back into this contest?
Yeah, it looks like they're just kind of overwhelmed by the Potters. The Potters defense is actually doing a really good job at keeping the Iron from really getting any easy shots, getting any open shots, getting in the lanes. And the Potters are kind of just in the advantage right now where they can just dribble and hope the Ironmen just start fouling them. So they've got the full advantage. Community just needs their 3-point shooters. Hope that they can get some situation, miracle situation like Jaylen Brown's shot in the playoffs last year.
Oh my gosh, the Celtics references all day. Now, Connor Smith from deep. And he gets fouled on the shot there. Fouled by Owen Adams, the guy that's really lit it up in the first half from deep downtown. It is the first double-digit lead of the game, and Connor Smith now has 3 free throws ahead of him, probably the biggest free throws he's seen this season, and the Iron need these to fall down. That one off the back iron. He's got 2 more, though. Connor Smith has shot 64% from the free throw line this season.
Yeah,
that one's good.
Interesting to see the way Connor Smith has been used in this game. Didn't get any minutes in the first half. Now he has the final seconds of this final quarter. He's being trusted here to kind of make a difference. Just interesting to see what Coach Witzig has been doing with his lineup throughout this whole game.
Marcus Russell just checked into the game. Get ready for lots of substitutions, whether you need Russell on defense or you need someone that can shoot the 3 ball. That's going to be a foul on Connor Smith, who hit the deck, and Gudeman will be going to the free throw line. As we saw Marcus Russell get in there, and the Iron tried to force a turnover there. I thought it was going to work, and this is where you just hope the Potters don't knock down these free throws as an Iron player, and this is kind of what the Potters have excelled at today. They haven't missed a free throw yet.
That's where I published that video, the beauty of free throws.
The beauty of free throws. Here it is, up and good. These free throws have been nothing but free for Morton tonight, knocking them all down. Gudeman, again, just kind of displaying that he does a little bit of everything. Jarrell Brown checks into the game for Marcus Russell. And the second free throw up and good. This Morton team will not miss these free throws as the Iron continue to foul. 23 seconds on the clock. Nauer nearly loses it, gets it back. Control, just misses that one. Kobe Walker does not get the offensive rebound as Gudeman's going to take it the other way, and that looks like that's going to be the ball game as the Iron have decided to not foul. It will be 56-46. Morton pulling off this win. The Potters advance to 10-5 with 8 straight victories, and the Ironmen fall to 9-3. Thoughts on this ball game?
Yeah, I mean, we saw Morton 10-5 kind of speaks for itself. They are a hot team, 8 straight victories. You saw how kind of composed they were in this game, especially under the lead of Gudeman. It's just like kind of a presence that they have. They're not like getting too stressed under the pressure of the game. Community looked like they had a lot of different lineups in the game. We're testing out a lot of things to see what they could do against a Potter team. I think a really good effort from them tonight, especially against a really good Morton team. But still, Morton showed why they're such a good team. They're just have a different type of composure in these games.
Yeah, and I think a big difference in this game is Morton has figured out what they're doing this season. They have a lineup that is pretty tight, really only about 7 guys getting a lot of minutes with Colin Burns and Owen Adams coming off the bench. And besides that, it's them and their starters. Their offense revolves around Gudeman, who can at times compose the offense, but also can be a huge threat in the paint and just causes everything else to change around him, and they can shoot the 3 ball, and they really displayed excellent defense in this second half. They gave up 28 points in the first half, only 18 in the second, really shut down Community. This is a team that's got it figured out at the mid-season mark, which is huge. A lot of teams don't have it fully figured out at this time in the season, and I think that's what happens when you play such great teams at the start of the season. You're ready for games when they matter most, and Community is kind of hitting this not necessarily like a mid-season crisis, but they're trying to figure things out. They're changing up some players, putting in new starters, putting in a lot of different players, and trying to find out which lineup works best. And I'm not sure which lineup works best yet, but if you're trying it, it's better to try it out now and figure out what's going to work than to try that out at the end of the season. And that's what these games are for. They're to learn. If you win, great. You played a great contest. If you lose, you're going to learn from it and go on to the next game. Last year, they took 5 regular season losses. Without those losses, Community would not have made it to the state championship. This is something that you go into the locker room, you talk about it 5-10 minutes, and then it's next game. You'll learn how to learn from those things, and then from a coach's perspective, you see which lineups worked best and which ones you want to try again.
Yeah, they head to another tournament later in this season as well. They're just scheduling teams. The reason why you schedule great teams is not because you're trying to necessarily win or prove yourself in some way. You're trying to learn. It's a great way to see where you are in the season and see what your team is capable of. And we see Community trying to figure it out, hoping that by the time playoffs come around, it's a little bit more solidified and Community can kind of get it together to try to win some games there.
Yeah, and the Potters, like we said, have won 8 straight, including some big games like over Chicago. Their last 3, Chicago Mount Carmel beat Moline by 17. They always have a great squad. And then this game's really going to put them on the map, getting Community by double digits despite losing losing by 4 at halftime. They were able to come back, outscore them by 14 in the second half. And this is a game where that next AP poll comes out. This is one that people will look at, be like, this team is legit. And I truly believe this is a top 10 team in 3A and someone to really watch out for when it comes to 3A playoffs. As for the Ironmen, their next game is against the Peoria High Lions, January 7th at 6:30 at Peoria. It is just the second home game all year for Peoria, even though they have played 16 games, which is absurd. They have played many neutral site games and have tested themselves in away matchups. As I said earlier, they're ranked as the top 100, one of the top 100 teams on Max Preps nationally. They're 14-2, 8 wins by single digits. Big games like beating Morton 33-31. They took down Rock Island 44-42. Those are 2 teams that have beat Community this year. 2 losses were to Fenwick, the number 5 team in 3A, and the most recent one, a double overtime loss at East Peoria after a big tournament, State Farm Classic, that they won. They're giving themselves lots of games, and that's another thing that will aid them. This game will really aid the Ironmen coming into that big matchup. This deep team's headlined by D1 athlete LaShawn Stowers. He is going to the Miami Red Hawks, and they also have a freshman, Orlando Edwards, that can really light it up. It's a deep team, so that should be a really fun game that I'm excited for.
Yeah, excited to see that Big 12 matchup. Like we said, I kind of want to see a Big 12 championship, but especially going against Peoria, that's going to be one of those, 3 heads in that Big 12 kind of conference. So that game will be huge.
Well, as we wrap up things here, final score 56-46, Morton Potters take down the Ironmen at Normal Community. Big shout out to Mr. Brad Bovenkirk, who does everything behind the scenes, on the board, on the camera work. And for Bella Green, I'm Zachary.